Hare Krishna. Hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
We'll
Hare
start.
Krishna Mataji.
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपाय गदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हर हराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः। हर हराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय गोविंदाय नमः। श्री कृष्ण हरि बोल गोपाल हरि बोल राधा रमण गोविंद हरि बोल। श्री कृष्ण हरि बोल गोपाल हरि बोल राधा रमण गोविंद हरि बोल। जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय पंचतत्वा पंचतत्वा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai. Welcome you all to the level 2 class of Bhagavad Gita, and today we are going to learn about chapter number 6, that is Dhyana Yoga. So what are the things which are coming into your mind seeing this picture? Please give your inputs. Hare Krishna. Apart from the sage who is in meditation, what else you can see in the picture?
The tiger in the back, Mataji.
Dhyana Yoga. Okay. The wild animals who are sitting at the back, and the sadhu is totally immersed in doing the yoga sadhana, isn't it? So our consciousness should go beyond our fears and insecurities. We should that means totally immersed in service of the Lord. So that should be a sadhana. Hope so to achieve that. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai. So these are the beautiful details of our Kulai Mangalore. So last chapter was about Karma Yoga and doing the work without any attachment to it, because in that way we'll be free from all the output of that particular action, and we will not be having any attachment to that work what we have done, and we'll be free from all sort of impurities. So it will help us to focus better on a bhakti and help us to progress in a spiritual practice. Okay, so these are the following elements which were being discussed. So in this particular chapter of Dhyana Yoga, we will concentrate so apart from not achieving or not getting attached to any of the work what we have done, and submitting all the results of the work what we have done towards the Lord. So how we can progress further in the bhakti? By doing meditation upon the Lord. Okay, and what are the different ways by which we can attain that? So these are the detailed sections in which we'll be dealing in this particular chapter. So practicing in yoga through the detached work, because we are not attached to our work result, and whatever we have done, the karma yoga, the results out of it, we are surrendering it to the Lord. So in that way, we are totally uncontaminated and we are not having any attachment to it. And Yoga Ruda Stejan. That's what Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna. Give up all your work and do a work as if you are doing as a service towards the Lord. Okay. And further stages in the practice of yoga, what are all required to practice Dhyana Yoga, like how Dhruv Maharaj was practiced the yoga in the going into the forest, deep into the forest, and at such a young age, and he could convince Lord Vishnu. So we will see what are those practices and necessity of controlling the turbulent mind. So why we need to control the mind? Hare Krishna. Any inputs?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mind is unstable.
Avoiding sufferings Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, uncontrolled mind is the enemy. So in uncontrolled mind, we cannot serve the Lord and cannot remember the Lord and cannot understand the religion.
Yeah. So is it similar to the turbulent water and the calm waters?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in turbulent water, when it is muddy and everything and all, you see in all the whenever there is flash floods and all those things, you got a turbulent muddy water. You cannot see what exactly is there inside. But once the water is standstill, you can see, appreciate even the finer things which are there in the bed of the river or the proper water body, isn't it? So similarly, the mind need to be calm to achieve this perfection about the Lord. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to achieve it. Okay. So what is the destination of an unsuccessful yogi and who is a topmost yogi? Okay. So the whole concept is around the mind and its controlling techniques in this particular chapter. If we have a control over our mind, then automatically everything else will follow it. So advancing in yoga through the detached work, Ashtanga yogis like Nishkama Karma yogis engage in detached work to advance. Say suppose in this particular war, so Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, see, I am saying you, get up and do your duty, and rest of the results you leave it to me, I will take care. So that is said to be the work without any attachment. So the work doing in a detached way. Okay. So is it that easy that everybody can detach? Hare Krishna, inputs?
No, Mataji.
Not that easy.
Yeah,
The
because
mind should be trained, Mataji.
yeah. So the moment you feel that I have done this, because of me it is done, and how can I give my hard-earned result to somebody else? All these things will haunt your mind, isn't it? So it's very, very difficult to get detached. So you have to elevate to that person, to that stage to get detachments. So so whom does this detachment come? So it will come to the person who realizes that he's not so autonomous in his action, because the supreme body has created the material body which we process, and the super soul which is residing as a small soul inside our body, it is under control of the super soul. So we are just a puppets, isn't it? Puppets will look like the us only, but we will play them in the back end, as we wish. Similarly, we are also in the hands of Lord. We are just a puppets, like the rest of the things, script, screenplay, everything, direction, everything is done by Krishna. So if we understand that, so we will direct our actions towards the service towards him. So that should be our realizations. Okay. So without his wish and will, we can't do anything. So because we are in contact, because we are inferior energy of the Lord, because we are made up of these 5 elements, because we are coming in contact with all the in 3 different modes. So we have a different desires for different things. Lust, greed, anger, all the things are there in us. Okay. And we desire to be this, we desire to be that. So many things are coming in our mind. But the superior energy of the Lord, that is Lord Krishna, who is not in contact with any sort of material desire, is free from all these actions. So ultimately, who will be the winner? Is it the Jivatma or the Paramatma? Paramatma, isn't it? So we should grow above the stage of not getting entangled in this material manifestation. So what we have to do for that? Yes, Hare Krishna.
We have to surrender a lot
Surrender to Lord.
Yeah. How?
by practicing bhakti yoga, by servicing the Lord, and taking the instruction of Gurudev.
Yeah. So
Under
if
the
we make
shelter
Krishna,
of Guru.
yeah. So if you make Krishna as the center, and all the activities are directed towards him, so it is, we have taken an admission into a school, so we have to take help of a teacher, isn't it? The other staff who will guide us. Similarly, once we have made a Krishna as a center, we will take help of the Siksha Gurus, everyone who are the expertise in these and help us to grow in this endeavor. So in that way, we can grow above that 3 modes of material desires, and we can be free from all the material manifestation and grow further in a bhakti. So one who purifies his vision and activity by Nishkama Karma Yoga can make further advancement by practice of meditation on the Super Soul by Ashtanga Yoga method. So the 8-limb yoga that we will discuss tomorrow. So yeah. By meditating upon the super soul, one can develop devotion to him in bhakti yoga, because we visualize a form once we are meditating upon him, isn't it? So understanding Krishna is a supreme enjoyer, because he has created all of us, and he is a supreme controller, because all our material modes and manifestations of our mind and all are directed by Krishna, and he is the best friend to us. So what we need to do is that we have to make our mind our best friend, so that Krishna will help us or guide us further to progress in the bhakti. So once we have a knowledge about the Lord by reading the scriptures or having a devotee association, so it increases. And we automatically, once we have a knowledge about ourselves as well as towards the Lord, then we will slowly detach ourselves from all the material desires. Then we get the Jnana Yoga, that is the power to not to get entangled in these 3 modes of material manifestations. Likewise, our consciousness will rise to a higher level, and it becomes easy for us to do a sadhana and go back to our Godhead and get connected to the Lord. So all our practices should be in such a way that ultimately we are disentangling from the material manifestation and progressing towards the Krishna. So before practicing this, and one should be purified by practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga. As I said, that we should not take the results of the actions what we are doing. Therefore, by doing that, we can progress further in the bhakti. Is the cursor and not able to see. Sorry. श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रिता कर्मफलं कर्मं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च नानिराग्निर्न चक्रिया. Supreme Personality of the Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of the life. And he is the true mystic, not he who delights no fire and performs no duty. Okay. See, basically willfully not giving that. But, I know Krishna, you have put me in this place by which I have to do this work. If he has that realization, then he is said to be in an elevated stage. Okay. So what is called renunciation, you should know to be a same as yoga or linking oneself with the Supreme, O son of Pandu. One can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. That means we have to grow above our sense gratification. That all our senses are in under control and our mind is totally absorbed onto the Krishna. Then only we are said to be in a yogic stage. Okay. The eightfold yoga system, that is the 8 limbs of the yoga, that is dhyana, pratyahara, all those things. So these are very difficult, especially in this age of Kali, but it is easy. But once we practice this slowly, so the Lord is emphasizing more on the karma yoga at present in these initial chapters. And the rest of the 8 limbs will constitute different part and parcel of the Supreme. And by absolutely training our mind, on concentrating upon the Lord, it becomes easy for us to get connected to Him. Okay. Yeah, the sannyasis, the who are totally detached from the worldly things and all, it is a one type of a yajna, and they don't do anything special to detach themselves from the material desire. What are prohibited for them, they don't go towards it. And what is for Krishna, so whether it's a grihastha or sannyasa, so the order of doing the service towards the Lord is the same. The only distraction what a grihastha has is a family and the responsibilities towards it. So if we can overcome that entanglements and service towards the Lord, then it becomes easy. Doing that, we have to do service towards the Lord and don't get attached to any of the work what we do towards the family. So likewise, it becomes easy for us to move further. Okay. Similarly, for the sannyasis, they are not entangled in all these things. It becomes easier, little bit easier than the grahasthas in doing so. And while doing the meditating upon the Lord, there are different ways. The impersonalists do in a different way because they first control their senses, then they try to control their mind, then they try to meditate upon a certain thing, a Brahma Jyoti or some object or something like that, and not the personal deity form. Okay, so ultimately they may reach and they may not reach the Lord. But whereas the Krishna consciousness, it is not at all about that. It is the personal deity form and the bhakti towards the Lord and the idol worship will be there. Definitely people is going to reach this. So once a person has decided that he has to do the meditation upon the Lord, so he should preferably sit in a calm place where it is free from all contamination, preferably on a kusha grass, and comfortably in a sukhasana or padmasana, the one which is comfortable for that particular person. And by concentrating your mind upon the tip of the nose or in between the brows, you have to concentrate on the Lord. So this is one type of a sadhana to do it. But whether you take the Krishna conscious devotee, so sometimes not everybody can do such sadhana and all, but the process of doing the work towards the Lord will automatically relieve you from all the things. So let's see. A truly renounced, a highly renounced Lord Chaitanya prays in this way. So na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, na jagat isha, kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhaktir ahaituki tyayi. So this is from Shishtastakam prayers. So I don't desire to accumulate any sort of wealth because it is all temporary and it belongs to Krishna, not to enjoy any beautiful women, because the all opulence belongs to Krishna, nor do I want any number of followers, or what I want only is the costless mercy of your devotion service in my life and birth after birth. So, a person who is totally absorbed in the service of the Lord, his state of mind should be like that. So, he should be away from all the material manifestations and the desires. So what is called renunciation, you should know to be same as yoga or linking oneself with the supreme or son of Pandu. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. The first and foremost thing to become a yogi is to have your senses under control. Okay. So here is the difference between the Bhakti Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. And I just wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji. What
Hare
is called
Krishna.
renunciation, you should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with the Supreme, O son of Pandu. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Both
Krishna.
lead to the renunciation of sense gratification. Bhakti Yoga to become attached to Krishna and work for him, thus controlling the mind and senses. Ashtanga Yoga to give up attachment to the fruits of work, control the senses, focus the mind within. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, one more Mataji, she raised up the hand. I think Swagatika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Ma, you can read this table again. And you can give an example if you have.
Yes, Mataji. Both lead to the renunciation of sense gratification. Bhakti Yoga to become attached to Krishna and work for him, thus controlling the mind and senses. Ashtanga Yoga to give up attachment to the fruits of work, control the senses, focus the mind within. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So which is easier one? Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga?
Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti
Think so.
Yoga. Yeah. Yam sanyasamiti prahur-yogam tvam vidhi pandava nahi asanyasasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kashtana. So what is called renunciation, you should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with the supreme son of Pandu. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces desire for the sense gratification. So to become a yogi, the first and foremost thing is having a control over the all the five senses, including the mind. Okay. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this. Anyone?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please read. Manoj Prabhu, Hare Krishna, you can read.
Krishna. Living entity has no separate independent identity. He is the marginal energy of the Supreme. Entered by material energy, he is conditioned. In Krishna consciousness, he is in his real state of life. In complete knowledge only, seizes sense gratification, announces sense gratification. Yogis by practice restrain the senses from material attachment. But a Krishna conscious person doesn't engage his senses in anything which is not for Krishna. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is both a sannyasi and a yogi. Purpose of knowledge, jnana, and of restraining the senses and connecting with the Lord, yoga, are automatically solved in Krishna consciousness. Really, I am for a living entity to give up all selfish satisfaction and only satisfy the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One, we have a realization that we are the marginal energy of the Lord, that is made up of a material energy. Okay, that is the inferior energy of the Lord. So we don't waste time going for sense gratification. Rather, our energies and everything will be channelized towards satisfying the Krishna. Okay. So in that way, our shift from material life to the spiritual life will begin. So the Krishna conscious person, he is not interested in doing anything which is not for Krishna. And he is said to be both a sannyasi as well as a yogi because he has a knowledge about the scriptures and he know how to engage positively without getting distracted in the material life. Are you able to see this? Hare Krishna, some problem with him. Hare Krishna, are you able to see this?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, clear.
अरुक्षोर् मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव समाकारणमुच्यते. So for one who is a neophyte in this eightfold yoga system, that is an entry-level devotee, neophyte devotee, work is said to be the means, and for the one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activity is said to be the means. Okay, so in the very beginning stage, we don't understand like what exactly is because still in the material world, still our senses are entangled in the theme also of material nature. It becomes difficult for us. But as we are advancing in yoga system and as we are advancing in bhakti yoga, it becomes easier for us to refrain from all the things which are disturbing our mind. Okay, a person is said to be elevated in yoga system when having renounced all the material desires. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. So the process of living oneself with the supreme is called yoga, which may be compared to the ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to the perfect self-realization in a pure spiritual life. So this goes slowly, not that directly we will take on to the Bhakti Yoga. So Karma Yoga, giving up Karma Yoga, having a meditation upon the Lord, having a complete, surrendering onto the Lord, then automatically we'll be progressing further in the Bhakti. The process of making linking a living entity with a supreme, that is yoga, may be compared to a ladder. Okay, and this ladder will take us to the topmost spiritual realization and begins from the lowest material manifestation, as I told you. Then slowly we begin to the from Karma Yoga, then the Jnana Yoga, that is the knowledge about the Lord, then Jnana Yoga, like how to meditate upon the Lord, then the ultimate Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so the beginning of the ladder is called as a Yoga Rurukshu stage. That is and the highest rung is called the Yoga Ruda stage. Okay, and following the Ashtanga Yoga, situating oneself in the meditation, perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses is achieved. So by doing this, rest of the things will come into all the senses will come under control, and it becomes easy for us to concentrate upon the Lord. So these are the different ladders, we start from the worker, fruitive workers, the karma kanda workers, performing various rituals for elevation to heavenly planners, regulators and gratification according with the scriptures. Then we renounce the fruits of one labor, that is a karma yoga, nishkama karma. Then renouncing the fruits of the labor, what we are doing, then with a speculative knowledge about the Brahman and the austerities of the body and mind, we perform, then we are said to be in a Jnana Yoga. When we are renouncing the fruits of the work, what we have done, and have a knowledge about the Lord and control of the mind and senses by the eightfold yoga, that is Ashtanga Yoga, and meditating upon the Lord with the super soul within the heart is called as the, so that is a Ashtanga Yoga stage, and loving devotion service to the Supreme Lord, Lord Shri Krishna. Then we are said to be in the stage of a Bhakti Yoga. For all these things, so many people, in a day-to-day life, we come across, they say, I am doing my work. That means work is worship, and I need not do the scriptures, doing all the things, and what are sadhana you're saying, I need not do it and all. So do you think they're right? Hare Krishna, I wanted inputs from the audience. Karma yogis?
No, Mataji, don't know.
Yes, some say I have read all this Vedas, I have completed this Upanishads, I know this, I know that. So those people will fall into this category of Jnana Yoga. Do you think they are the ones who are in the highest rung of us bhakti?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji. Not knowing Krishna as a God.
So some they say we are renounced and I can control my breath, I can meditate for long, I can do this, I can control my senses and all those things. So do you think even they have renounced and they are in the highest bhakti yoga?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Yeah, only loving service towards the Lord. That is engaging totally in the service of the Krishna is said to be in the Bhakti Yoga. So, when we are in the very beginning stage, all of us might have encountered these, we think maybe this is right, this is right, this is right and all. But see, what is written in this particular slide is written in Bhagavad Gita, nothing of a personal content which we are saying here. Okay, so what Krishna says is that you have to grow about Karma Kanda to Jnana Yoga to Ashtanga Yoga. Then once you're fixed your mind upon service of the Lord, then automatically everything else come into it. You need not strive for anything great. Okay, in that way you can renounce, but just doing the karma you cannot renounce, or just reading the scriptures you cannot, just developing certain skills in meditation you cannot become the ultimate supreme. So you cannot get connected to the ultimate supreme and you can progress further. You may fall down at any point of time in all these four. But once you have come to a stage of Bhakti Yoga, there is no fall down. Okay. It is something like a snake and ladder game, The moment you get up and once one of the big snakes engulf you, they'll come down. So all these things are similar to that, How much ever the practice you take, you may go further, but one small practice or one small activity towards the Maya can bring you down. So, but people who know Bhakti Yoga, it's next to impossible for them to fall down. So we should reach to that stage for further development. Yada hinendriyardheshu na karmasvu anusajjate sarvasankalpa sannyasi yoga ruda sadochyate. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all material desires. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in a fruitive activity because he knows these are all waste things. I should not engage myself in these distractive things. So better I concentrate on the Lord and do the bhakti. So next stage is that your yoga rudha stage, that is giving up the work. A yogi will give up his nishkama karma yoga when his mental control reaches the stage of regarding well-wisher, the envious, the pious, and the sinners equally. Okay, so because even the wrong person or the right person, the soul is of the ultimate super soul. So he should be totally neutral to their activities and he should see with an equal vision and concentrate on his own sadhana. Okay, should work on his mind but not on the body. So the stage, neophyte stage, he must work because he is not detached, pure or advanced. By doing the sadhana, automatically he will come to that stage and he's cultivating detachment from the fruitive results and practices part-time asana and perhaps pranayama while engaging in the karma yoga. So initial stage, everybody will check on different things to progress further in the bhakti. So one must deliver himself with the help of his mind and do not degrade himself. The mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and is enemy as well. So we need to make our mind a friend or an enemy. We need to make it as a friend. Uddharedatmanatmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmana. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and do not degrade himself. The mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. The person who have a control over his mind is a best friend, but a person who don't have a control over his mind it is his enemy. Okay, you can see the angel as well as the demon. So which one you choose to? Nothing is from the external source which is disturbing you. It is only your internal source which is making you a friend or as an enemy. So the choice is yours. For the one who has conquered the mind is the best of the friends. But for the one who has failed to do so, the mind will remain the greatest enemy. Bandhuratmatmana tasya येनात्मैवात्मना जिता अनात्मनास्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. See, you can take example of Duryodhana, because his mind was not under his control. He felt like he was lusty towards the kingdom and he was greedy, and because he didn't get the kingdom, he was angry towards that, and his consciousness he has lost, and that has led him to the war and all. So if his mind was in his control, then he would have prevented all this disastrous situation. Okay. So for one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is ready, is already reached. So for which he has attained the tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and disorder, all are same. Okay. So here we can take an example of the Duryodhana as well as the Pandavas. The Kauravas, they are lusty towards the kingdom and their mind is not under the control. Whereas the Pandava, despite losing everything, despite having a lot of dishonors, and but still, their mind is like, Krishna, whatever you say, we are ready to do it. So that should be a state of mind. So we should never try to objectify ourselves with a distressful situation or feel sad or think about it. So rather we should concentrate on what is right for us, that is doing the sadhana towards the Lord. Because as the seasons comes and go, these problems in the life comes and goes, but what is ultimate is Krishna. So if we make him as a center, then automatically we'll have the steady balance even in a distressful situation. A person is said to be established in self-realization, is called as a yogi when he is fully satisfied by the virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendental and his self-control, and his everything, whether it's pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. Okay, so can any one of you or few of you can give example like how a person who is not totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness and still in the neophyte stage in the material life, how we try to deal with our day-to-day problems?
Emotionally, madam, according to his emotion, he'll deal it angrily or he'll deal it with too much of sorrow, taking it as sorrowful, or too much of happiness, not in a balanced state.
Say suppose any griefful situation or any untoward situation is there in a person's life, how he or she has to take it?
He has to take it as it is given to them by Krishna, who will redeem it as he gave it.
Accept the situation.
So whatever the grief situation is which we are attached to, or there will be certain situations which are not favorable for any one of us, or we are going through difficult situations in our life. So then we should accept it as a decision of the Lord and we should move forward. So automatically what is right for us, Krishna will give us. Okay. So we should not lament over the thing. That means we should assemble the power or a strength to overcome that sensual attachment, or the power to overcome that grief and all, and try to think it as an elevated personality, knowledgeable person. Then it becomes easy for one to say, by doing so, who is benefited, Krishna or us? We are benefited out of it, isn't it? So the main purpose of practicing spirituality and doing the sadhana, reading the scriptures, is that you have a knowledge about what is real and what is unreal. So once you know what is real, that is Krishna, then we should not lament over the things which are unreal. So a person has to get elevated to such an extent that he sees everyone equally. So can anybody remember what this picture is all about? Can you identify the characters? He is a Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj, who is a very famous and a great Vaishnava devotee. Despite having all the opulences in his life, he was a true devotee to the heart. And once he was observing the Nirjal Ekadashi, Durvasa Muni will come and he said, yes, I will come back to take your Atitya and all. And meanwhile, when the Parana time is going on, the mantri will say to Ambarish Maharaj, take a sip of water so that you are not breaking the fast. So meanwhile, Durvasa Muni will see Ambarish Maharaj taking a sip of water. He mistaken that he has taken a meal without his presence and all, and he'll become angry and he try to trouble him by plucking a hair from his head and putting it down, which will turn out into a giant personality or a demon which destroy all the properties and run towards the run towards the Ambarish Maharaj to kill him. Okay, but he being a true Vaishnava, Krishna will release a Sudarshana Chakra that will kill this demon, and that Sudarshana Chakra will run towards the Durvasa Muni to save his life. He go to Brahma and Brahma says, no, I can't do anything. You have to, maybe Lord Shiva can help you out. So again, he'll go to the Lord Shiva and Shiva says, no, I myself go to Vishnu in case of distressful situations, when my devotees put me in a danger and all, I can't help myself, I can't help you. So when he go back to the Vishnu and he says, see, I am so dear to my devotees. Any sort of difficult situations come to our devotees. If they forgive you, then only the Sudarshan Chakra will come back. Even I can't do anything. So when he realizes that just by troubling the devotees, he's been suffered a lot, he will go and ask for forgiveness. Like that, the Sudarshan Chakra will go back. Okay. So this is just a state of mind. Durvasa Muni is a great sage. He has read all the scriptures. He has a control over his mind, his senses and all those things. But some amount of material entanglement is there within. So a small fraction of a seconds, that is the difference between impersonal bhakti and a personal bhakti. So here Ambarish Maharaj is totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness. He is not following any sort of impersonal bhakti. He is just praying onto the Lord and all his activities are surrounded or towards the Lord. Then you can see the protection. So this is the main difference what we can see, because they see everyone, even this distressful situation which is created by Durvasa Muni, he thought that it is a creation of a Krishna and let me accept it peacefully, and he has taken even that with a very positive note. So likewise our bhakti should be such a way that we can accept the distressful situations also in a very positive note, and ultimately Lord is there to protect his devotee and he will take care of everything, and he will see that we are not being put into any sort of a distressful situation. So these are the 6 enemies of the mind. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matshorja.
Okay.
Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matshorja.
Yeah.
This is the 6 enemy of mind.
Yes. So we should overcome these. So we should make our mind a friend so that it can be trained. Unless we train it, we cannot overcome these 6 enemies of the mind. Okay. So one established in self-realization by virtue of knowledge and self-realization. So they can see everything as the same, whether it is a stone or a gold or pebbles are the same. Everything is a creation of the Lord. So we should train our mind in such a way, whether it's a good situation, ordinary situation, or extraordinary situation, super situation, whatever it is, as the same. So our ultimate source and sadhana should be realization towards the Lord. Okay. And with more advancement, he sees everyone, the honest, well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, and the neutrals, mediators, envious, friends, everyone on the same platform. Okay. So, because it is his connection to Krishna and his sadhana which will make him progress, but not the external environment. So, he focuses on his inner journey. So further stages in the practice of yoga, these are the eight-limbed yoga, that is the Ashtanga yoga. Krishna described the practices of Ashtanga yoga. The results are the yoga rudha, that is the perfection stage. Ultimately, the vision of the super soul. Okay. It begins with a yama and ends with a samadhi. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and the samadhi. So this is how once you start on your bhakti, that is the sadhana bhakti will be there till the dharana, then the remembering, hearing Krishna and meditating and observing, then the samadhi stage. So, but in Krishna consciousness, it starts with a hearing, isn't it? And automatically and remembering Krishna, and rest of the things are automatically included in this. So our journey starts from here. So how this eight-limb yoga will help us to progress further in the bhakti, we will see. So these are different types of yogas, which are there in our day-to-day affairs, named differently. But all these things will not help us to achieve the God, as we have seen. So these are the different austerities of the body. By doing so, that is one type of a practices for one particular, but we need not do that much severe austerities because not everyone can do it, isn't it? This also. This beer yoga, something, all these different things, but that is all not required. What we do through our body is not required. Okay. The soul is the one which is connected to the super soul. We need to feed the soul by having an inner journey and inner control over the mind. So in that way, the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Padasevanam, all those 9 types of Navada Bhakti will take us further in the Bhakti, not the physical forms of a yoga. Okay. So these are the 8-limb yoga, which I have told you. The start with the asana, niyama, yamas, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and the samadhi, which is the ultimate thing. So this we will take up tomorrow. Okay. Any doubts till now? Hare Krishna. Any doubts? Anything you people wanted to ask? Okay, fine. So tomorrow we will learn in detail about the 8-limb yoga and how ultimately we have to reach the Bhakti yoga. In detail, we will learn tomorrow. Okay. So
Okay,
if there are no more doubts, I think we can end the session for today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, co-host and participants, for your active participation. See you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Mataji, so some people doing the Ashtanga yoga. So according the today lesson, so they are not doing perfect for this age, right?
It is a part, Prabhu, not complete thing. If you are doing that, you will reach it. It is not the way. It is a part and parcel of a Bhakti Yoga.
Mataji, some yoga is good for health. So some people do this type of yoga for their better health. But in Bhakti Yoga, we not in Bhakti Yoga we can also practice this type of meditation. It can be added in Bhakti Yoga. What is your opinion?
Prabhu, Bhakti is for the soul. Physical yoga
It's
is
for
for the
soul.
body.
But to be healthier, we need to do some practice for body
Yes,
fitness.
Prabhu. But here we are speaking about the Bhakti Yoga, Prabhu. We are not speaking about the physical health yoga.
Yes, I understand, but one devotee should do some physical exercise for his better health.
Yes, Prabhu. Yoga we can include, but see, people may do yoga for many years, but they will not develop bhakti. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
it's a part of it, but that should not be the ultimate sadhana. See, once
Yes,
we
yes.
want
But one
progress in
devotee should try to do some physical exercise for his better health.
for his better health, for better serving Krishna. So that should
Yes,
be our
yes,
motto. This body should be of use to serve Krishna. So
yes,
that should be the motto. Okay. For
yes,
Bhakti
yes,
Yoga, we need to train our mind. So how we train our mind? Just by doing a physical exercise, we can't train our mind. It is a part
yes,
and parcel. To train our
yes.
mind, you have to do the Bhakti Yoga. So that means that different set of mental exercises we have to, like chanting and engaging ourselves in service of the Lord, flower seva or deity service or kitchen seva. So these are the different type of things which will positively engage you in that.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So one devotee should also do some physical exercise for better health to serve the Lord.
Yes, yes. Generally, if you take the regular schedule of all the for devotees, so the morning they get up by in the Brahma Muhurta by 3:30 or so, 4:30 they attend the Mangal Harati, 5 to 7 they do the japa session, 7 to 8 most of them they do the yoga for physical well-being. Then they will go to the kitchen and they will do the kitchen service and get ready for the, some will after 7 o'clock, some will do this, some will go to the kitchen, some will go for the darshanarti, some will go for other prasadam distribution. So likewise, they will divide among themselves. So some amount of physical yoga is included in the routine, and they walk a lot, walking, they practice a lot. They try to avoid the vehicles unless required. So mostly they try to walk, and likewise, they try to keep themselves fit.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. I think if there are no more doubts,